Hi, my name is Steve Larson, and I am passionate about helping parents guide their young people from about 10 to 18 on that journey from childhood to adulthood. I want to share with you where my passion has come from. I pastored for many, many years in Southern California, and I would see a pattern. About 16 years of age for kids, parents would come in and they'd say, "Our kids won't listen to a word we're saying. They're fighting us on everything." And I would always ask them, "Well, can I talk to your son or daughter?" And so I'd get together with the son or daughter, and I would ask them, "Hey, what's going on?" And the kid is in tears because he says, "My parents won't listen to a word I say." And the relationship by 16 was broken, and for many parents, it was never repaired. And I began to observe, and I actually began to take notes in my life and my journaling and my counseling of what I saw that broke that relationship that was so great when the kids were 7, 8, and 9. And what I want to do is share with you what I've learned about the journey from childhood to adulthood and how parents who are always great parents of children can become great parents of those emerging adults. I want to share with you a thought that actually guided my parenting, and I learned it from the mistakes that other parents made. And that was when my child is 2, 4, 6, 8 years old, the key concept is authority. I am helping them to be on the path by my authority over their lives. And as I'm on that path with them, I'm making decisions for them, hopefully to protect them from wrong, to protect them from relationships that are going to be hurtful to them, and to protect them from habits that are going to destroy their lives. But one thing that hit me is as they become 10, 11, whenever that magic thing of puberty hits, and that child becomes a monster for a couple of years, and then the hormones even out, and then they start to become real people. My journey as a parent went from being an authority in their lives to being an influence in their lives. What's the difference? In an authority, I tell them to do something because I said so, because I'm the authority in their lives. As an influence, I'm more of a mentor or a guide. I want to help them want to do the things that are going to build their lives. So it's more persuasion, more influence of helping them to see why something is really important. So I'm going to give you, over the next couple of sessions, 5 principles that will help you as a parent to strengthen your influence in your young person and help them to grow to become the young adult that you would love to see them become, and I think deep down they want to become. Principle number 1, be intentional. You know, intentionality in life is something that has grown for me to become a passion of mine. Let me give you a stupid example. I have really bad feet, and occasionally they get so bad that I can't even walk on them. I had a doctor that said, you know, if when your feet are feeling good, you're willing to stretch them a little bit, you're not going to have so much trouble. Well, guess what? When my feet are feeling good, do I think about doing things that are going to help prevent something? Nah, I just go on with what I'm doing, and then they hurt bad, and then I wish, oh my gosh, I wish I would have remembered that. Being intentional is taking a step back and looking at your life and saying, what are the things that I need to do to move my life or the lives of the people that I love to the next step? I want to give you a couple of areas where it's really important to be intentional. As parents, I want to encourage you to be intentional about the goals that you have for your young people. Let me ask you an easy question. What would you like to be able to say about your son or your daughter when they reach the age of 18? What kind of character would you like them to have? What kind of commitments would you like them to have? What kind of wisdom would you like them to have? What kind of life skills would you like to have? If you think about those things and with your spouse actually write them down, they begin to guide you as to what kind of things you should be building into your children's lives. Second thing is to be intentional about the example that you're setting. For example, if you want your son to learn to respect women, and yet you don't set a model of respecting your wife, the son is not going to hear anything you say about respecting women. All he's going to see is, this is how dad treats mom, this is how I should treat women. If you want your son to be intentional about respecting authority, and then you get pulled over by a policeman, and after that policeman's done, you rag on him about how unfair he was and how ridiculous he was to give you that ticket, what you're doing is you're teaching your son or daughter that authority is not to be respected when you disagree with what they want. Here's another question for you and your spouse. What is the example that you're setting to your kids right now? Are you setting an example of love and faith and passion for life? Or are you setting an example of hopelessness, criticism, giving up when things get tough? What is the example that you are setting to your kids? The third thing I want to encourage you to be intentional about is communication. The danger of living in a family is it's so easy to think, well, because we're living together, we're communicating. And that is so not true. It's so important for you and your spouse to intentionally take time out on a regular basis to talk about where you are in your marriage and where you are in your passion for parenting. So I want to encourage you to actually make a commitment. Okay, once a month, my spouse and I are going to get together and we're going to take an hour to talk about how we're doing in our marriage, how we're doing with our kids. The final thing I want to encourage you to be intentional about is what skills and habits and commitments do you want to build into your kids in that journey from 11 to 18? What do you want them doing on a regular basis? Okay, so how can you intentionally build those things into your lives? I hope this is helpful, and I hope you get the passion to actually take a step back and think about where your kids are and how you can help them move to the next level.